Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classic, last non-classic. This definitely is the correct one. Episode 24, 22, and Doubleshot number 2316. Now we have the final trade that collect issues from Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 2 and another Deadpool Classic. Yes, we have Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 6, The Final Curtain, which collect issues from Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 2, issues 21, 22, and 27. This book also collects Peter Parker's, I think it's like 39 to 40 something. It is 39 to 41. Now, yeah, and by the way, these issues are 10 times better than the arc that came between the issues of Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, the writer for all these issues is Paul Jenkins. The arc for these issues are by Mark Buckingham and Talent Caldwell. These Spectacular Peter Parker Spider-Man issues, which basically have the Marvel Legacy numbering of 137 to 139. Mostly for the first issue, it's started with a woman on a beach, and we basically deal with Dr. Octopus in this issue. Yep, Dr. Octopus with Fusion. Yes, you're thinking, Fusion. Yeah, it's the second one. Yeah, the original only appeared like one at a time. Yeah, and Spider-Man's here with Daredevil looking at her chip. It's just a quick little story arc here. They probably threw this in here because, and this is my personal theory of the reason why I threw in these 3 issues, is because, well, they probably didn't collect these originally in the main Peter Parker Spider-Man trade, so they just threw these in. Now, this is kind of weird, though. 39 is 137. For some reason, issue 40 is incorrectly numbered 136. I thought that was kind of weird. So yeah, then we have Spider-Man versus Fusion in this issue here. And we have some Nick Fury with a little device. And just Nick Fury in here, and there's just a quick little 3-part story arc here. And we get wrapped up at 41. And Fusion is kind of, in a way, beaten. Yeah, Fusion is defeated. And as far as I can tell, I don't think the second Fusion is ever seen again. I don't think he necessarily died. Let's see. I think he died. Let's see. He's not dead. Oh, he is dead. He got killed off in that miniseries, Thor, Heaven, Earth. Yeah, he got killed off miniseries by Paul Jenkins. Maybe because basically Paul Jenkins created the character. Yeah, he was the character first popped up in Peter Parker Spider number 30. He was there for 30-32, and they popped up for this arc, and after that, he was sneaking in Thor Heaven Earth number 2, where he sadly died. Yes. In a quick miniseries by Paul Jenkins. Will I discuss the miniseries at some point? Yes, I will. But that's where he's killed off there. I thought he got killed off in this book. Nope, he just... It's weird. The book comes out in 2011. And the thing is, that was 9 years after his previous appearance. Yep. And then right after this 3-parter wraps up, we then finally move to Spectacular Spider-Man, the final issues. 21-22 deal with the aftermath of the Disassemble story. But first, we have 21 where we have a poker game. We have the Fantastic Four here with Angel, Wong, Doctor Strange, Black Cat, and Spider-Man. Basically all playing a poker game. And then the Kingpin decided to join in. Yes, the Kingpin. Okay. Yeah. Really fun issue. I like the whole poker game night thing. This occasionally pops up in comics, the whole poker night. It doesn't come up that much. It's popped up occasionally this period of time, but not a lot per se. Sadly put, issue 22 is a death. A death of who? This guy. You're probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? That is Mindworm. Yes. A character who was last seen back in the 70s. I'm not kidding about that. That was his last known appearance. It is quite weird. And this would be sadly put his death. His last appearance was back in, well, probably for a quick cameo in Web of Spider-Man in number 3. But this guy had not been seen since the frickin' 70s. Yeah. Yeah, here's the strange thing about this guy. Come think of it, his last known appearance was in Peter Parker Spider-Man number 35. That like, if you don't count the Web of Spider-Man issue, his last appearance was back in 1979. Yeah, it's weird. And then, of course, the Web of Spider-Man annual, which I think is just a quick cameo. Yeah, I think that's all pretty much what it is. It is just a cameo. I don't really count it. So technically put the guy like here just a few times. And apparently his next appearance was actually in Spider-Man Tangled Web number 6. Yeah, he appeared there too, and yeah. So Mindworm, if I remember correctly, I believe he was a Jerry Conway character who barely gets referenced. Yeah, it's kind of odd that they would bring this guy back. Paul Jenkins just basically dug this guy out some gutter or whatever, and then sadly decided to kill him off in this issue for reasons unexplained here. Yeah. Yeah, he gets killed off here by some random thugs. Yeah, it's like, what was, and by the way, his first appearance was back in Amazing Spider-Man 138. He's a Jerry Conway character. No, seriously, he is. He's a Jerry Conway character who just this big illusion character. He just pops up a few times, and he is just relatively a minor villain. He's killed while saving some other. So he's basically killed by muggers. I'm not sure why Paul Jenkins brought him back for, but he brought him here for this one issue. Spider-Man does remember him, and then he dies. And then we jump to the last issue of this run, called The Final Curtain. It's mostly put a winter issue about Peter with Uncle Ben, and it's a really good issue. Probably by far one of the best issues of the whole series. Yep. And that's pretty much it for Peter Parker Spider-Man, for Spider-Man Volume 2. Before I discuss Deadpool Classic, let's get my final thoughts on Spider-Man Volume 2. Excuse me. This was a really good run. The only bad issues I saw of this whole series was sadly the Sins Past story, the Sins Remembered story arc. And my personal theory of the reason why the book got canceled was because that arc didn't sell very well. Yes. Yeah, it was something that Marvel was trying to push on the Spider-Man fans, that no one wanted this. JMS did not want this. He wanted to retcon it with one more day. He was told no. But they did allow Nick Spencer to undo this 19 years after the story came out. Yes, he retconned two things. That and the whole thing with Harry Osborn. Yep. But with the exception of that one story, this was actually a really good run. And sadly, like, you have it where you have Humberto Ramos on the first 10 issues of this run. And then you have, like, him come back for the disassemble story, and then he leaves. I mean, his arc wasn't bad. It just was really interesting. Of course, it did stuff that would be explored in Amazing Spider-Man. Like, for example, like Eddie Brock having cancer. Yes, this is something that will be followed up with. It is quite strangely enough the only thing followed up with in a, like it's like basically unintentionally Paul Jenkins was doing something that the original line was had a reputation for doing, continuing stuff from other books. This book kind of did that. Yes, that's one thing at least appreciate about that. And I also really enjoyed the Zardesky run. That was fantastic. The only thing I didn't like about it was at one point killed out the Sandman. Yeah, and then we have this weird tie-in to Spider-Guy Den, which that's what ended the series, a tie-in to Spider-Guy Den. Was I happy with the series coming back? Oh, heck yes. I was very happy. I have been wanting the series to come back for years. As a matter of fact, it was a series. Like, I remember the head count for this book. Like, if you counted, the first volume was 261 issues. If you have the 27 issues here, that is roughly put, I think, like, I think that was like 80 something, I think it was. Because, it was like right after issue 6, they renumbered it back to its old numbering, and then stuck with that numbering until issue 313, which seemed like a strange number to end at, but they did it because of Marvel Legacy, which, yeah, I found the run to be really good. Yes, no bad issue of that series. It actually felt more like a Spider-Man book than the Amazing Spider-Man book at that point. Yep. But stuck with Spider-Man. The first arc was really good. Second story arc was okay. It's just, like I mentioned when I talked about it, it's just Spider-Man vs. Dr. Octopus for 5 issues. That's literally what it is. Though this outfit he does sport in this book would pop up in JMS' Spider-Man book. And then we have the Lizard Tail story, which this was a story that was basically ignored. Where like, oh, like the Lizard was controlled by Kirk Connors all along. Yeah. Hairy Monsters was surprisingly the only standalone issue this entire series. One of 2. The other, of course, being the final issue. Actually, it was more standalone tie-ins. This symbol was interesting at best. I thought it was a really interesting idea. This is another thing that was set up here that was actually just the weird thing about this story. It's the only thing that was actually set up for a future story. That being the Other. Yes. That's literally what the tie-in for the symbol of World Second Spider-Man set up for the Other. And then we have 2 straight standalone issues, which I thought were really good. Of course, we have the awful Sin's member story. And then we had Spectral Spider-Man. Now, I still stand by the fact that the reason why the book ended when it did was because, and this is my personal theory on the matter, that the Sins Remembered story arc practically killed the series. Yes. And you might be curious though. Now, this book was meant to replace Peter Parker's Spider-Man, which it did do that. Now, was there anything to replace it per se when the book ended? Surprisingly, no. Not really. They did have Marvel Knights Spider-Man publishing at that point. They did. So kind of in a way, basically, basically when this series was ending, they had just launched Marvel Knights Spider-Man. And actually, they did launch one kind of series that kind of replaced it. Kind of. You could say it's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Yes. I would say this one kind of was a book they replaced because it started back in December 2005. The final issue of this book was released in... Not that one. Here we go. Final issue of Spectral Spider-Man was released in June of 2005. So you could kind of say that basically that was kind of the book that really replaced it was Friendly with Spider-Man, and that lasted for a little bit less than this book did. Well, There was also another book publishing that they actually had brought back around the same time this book was canceled. Like, they had also just brought back Marvel Team Up. Yeah, they had just brought this book back that very year. So, you could kind of say, now, Volume 2 was not really a Spider-Man book. Not really. He didn't appear in all the issues. Oh no, he did not. It's like basically like it was actual story arcs for this one. But you could kind of say it was his actual series per se. Yes. Yep. But not real much else to say about this book. With this particular book, I am done reviewing Spider-Man Volume 2. What's to place it? I haven't decided yet, but let's talk about basically Deadpool Classic. Volume 7. You're thinking, wait, is that a Steve Dillon cover? Yes, it is. Now, the writer of this book is Jim Palmiotti and Buddy Sorrell. Art by Paul Chadwick, Michael Lopez, Derek Robinson, Andy Williams, George Jeffrey, Carl Kitcha, and Liam Sharp. This book covers Deadpool 44 to 56. So yes, basically with this book, it is roughly about 13 more issues left to go for concluding the first volume. Jimmy Ho only surprised a lot of these issues. Mostly, but you have the Cat Crow Summer, which takes it 46 to 48. Yeah. Most was Deadpool hanging out with this woman for an entire story arc and deal with all cat stuff per se. That's most of exactly what this arc is. Him just being with this woman for 3 straight issues. Yeah, it's a really interesting story arc per se. And then, like, right after this story arc wrapped up, yeah, by the end of the story arc, basically she died. And then, like, oh, let's just basically switch over to have Deadpool spook James Bond. Yes. By the way, this book would also mod several movie posters. And now here's the thing. This issue has a guest star appearance here by the Punisher. Yes, Frank Castle's in this book. Now you're thinking, why the heck is he here? 2 reasons. 1, Palmiotti probably wrote him at that point. And 2, probably just to promote the Punisher ongoing book with publishing at the same period of time this one's. Yeah, it was just a marketing ploy. And then we returned to the beautiful Vanessa, Deadpool's ex-girlfriend, in the 50th issue of this book. Which the cover is a little homage to Avengers number 4. Yep. And the whole point of this issue is basically kind of like this little dead stuff, but mostly the big selling point of this issue is Deadpool reuniting with Vanessa, aka Copycat. And also seeing Pool Boy. Yes, the debut of Pool Boy, who does virtually nothing, but it was a really fun thing here. Then issue number 51, which is an obvious homage to Detective Comics number 38. Yes, it is an obvious homage. As a matter of fact, Deadpool did this frickin' twice. Yes, he homaged that very cover 2 times. The other time was debut Another Kid Deadpool. Yeah, and this weird issue with the face up, that's done by Derek Robinson. Yeah, it just odd here. They created this character, Spider-Boy. We have Vanessa here as well. And then we do his 2 twin girls in issue 52. Then 53, we have Deadpool versus this one girl who got possibly shot by Deadpool. At least Barney, she's covered in band-aids. Like, they put a whole bunch of band-aids over her, like almost pretty much covering her arms, face, chest, belly, even some of her legs. Yeah. Really fun stuff here. Yeah, then the Punisher shows up. Yep, it's a Steve Dillon cover. You have the cover for the trade here, this cover right here, 54, which is a Steve Dillon cover. Yep, and like I mentioned, Punisher's here to promote his own book. That's literally the reason why he's here. Despite the fact his book in this period of time was written by Warren Ellis. And you know the stupid thing about that book? When Marvel decided to have its Legacy Never Punisher, that book was not counted for some reason. Well, maybe because it led into Marvel Max. But it's still 6 Deadpool, but for some reason was not counted. Yep, it was not. For some unknown reason, it was not. Yeah, I don't really know exactly the reason why it wasn't. Yeah. Basically, Deadpool deals with the Punisher for like a couple of straight issues. Oh, and by the way, this cover, yeah, this is a cover pulled directly from the Punisher book. Yeah, there's a Punisher cover with the same exact cover. With the same cover artwork. It's like they took the artist from that cover. It's like basically John Palmiotti asked the cover artist for Punisher to do this one cover. Yep, because Punisher in the book, so why not use that cover artist? And that would lead into A Day with Vanessa. Then we have Cyrene show up in issue number 56. Yep, and you're thinking, well, is that it? Oh yeah, that's it. Because next up, basically, Return of Weapon X. Really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Spec Experiment, I give that a 10. Because that was actually really good. And also, it was a lot better than Sins Remembered. Yep. So yes, that is pretty much a particular thing I would do in our comic corner. But I don't have time, so save for tomorrow. Okay, next video. Bye.